What's up? What's up? What's up, people? We're back. Got my Day of the Dead cup here with more coffee. It's 4:30 and I'm drinking coffee. Got off to a late start today, but that's okay. Today's video, we're going to continue on with the beginner lesson from yesterday. I've got my buddy Christian here, who's going to be watching the live chat. So anybody, feel free to chime in, give me some feedback. Let me know if I'm missing anything or if you're not getting something, and I'll be sure to stay engaged with you guys. If you were watching yesterday, there's a couple points I missed. It happens. You start talking about something, then you go off on another tangent. I think one of the important things I wanted to touch up on was the practice schedule, and you're planning your practice. Are you writing down in your journal every day what you did? Are you really practicing the right things for where you're at in the guitar? Now, this is a beginner lesson, so if you're a beginner, this is perfect for you. Even if you're not, I'm going to ramble on and mention some things that are just good to hear. So stick around and stay tuned. Either way, let's get right into it. Yesterday, I think we had gotten to 3 chords. Here's my guitar pick. And I feel like we skipped over a couple important things, but right now we're just learning fingerings for chords. And but today, after we learn a couple more chords, I want to talk about this hand, right? So, because a lot of the magic happens here, but equally, almost sometimes more magic happens here, I feel like. It's a beautiful connection between the two hands. So, quick recap of yesterday. Not the song, but what we learned yesterday. We learned an E major, right? Hopefully you've been practicing. Take your index finger off that first fret G string. You've got an E minor. Start using your ear and noticing the difference. So yesterday we were talking about, and I didn't get to wrap it up, I talked about the kind of 3 parts, I guess you could say 4 parts of what your practice daily routine should be, or what I think it should be. It doesn't have to be this way, but this is what I think. And you're tuned into this channel, so I'm not gonna hold my opinions. Okay. So the first part, every day, I think you should wake up and just train your ear. If that means listening to a song to you or whatever, it's not what it means to me. But just familiarize yourself with certain things. Okay, and we haven't talked about scales yet, or scale positions or scale degrees, so I won't go too far into that. But if you are advanced, you know what I'm talking about. Start out with ear training. Next portion, pull out your journal and watch a video or 2 or whatever about the basics of music theory. Start wrapping your head around that concept and deconstructing music, and really just learning the language of music and the vocabulary of music to simplify things or to help you articulate things that you're trying to say or play. Then go into your technique. Learn scales. Learn your scale positions. Learn your scale degrees. And that'll help you facilitate a playground for songs in certain keys that you're learning. okay, or that you familiarize yourself with. You're going to learn a lot of drills doing stuff like that. You know, and that was walking the minor scale in odd note groupings of 5. Now, you don't ever typically want to translate those things directly into your music that you're trying to create, right? Because it's got to be original. And it sounds good. It doesn't sound bad, but you can take fragments of those ideas, and it just helps you build things like speed. Okay? Work on starting things slow and play them faster. Okay? So technique is a portion of your daily practice routine as well, almost on whatever instrument you're on. Then you can go into your songs that you're learning, solos that you may be working on, whatever, something you're trying to perform. Then you save the last portion for that, and really dig into that too, because that's very important. So familiarize yourself with all those things. They're all important. They all go hand in hand. Don't be stubborn and push one away. It's all part of the beautiful picture here. So back to the lesson. Thanks for listening to my little rant. I did that because yesterday I didn't get to finish. Okay. So back to the chord. We have an E major. We have a sad sounding E minor. We've got an A major. Remember that, with the 3 fingers stacked up in 1 fret. Okay. We've got an A minor. A major. Take the pinky off. A minor. Okay. We talked about how with just 2 chords you can already learn a little song. You can already start playing around. There's a style of music called skiffle where they only play 1 chord. Yeah, so with just 1 or 2 chords, you can already start grooving around. Okay, A major, A minor. We talked about the D chord, D major, D minor. Okay, I'll go over that one more time. Index on the 2nd fret G string, middle finger or 2 on the 2nd fret E string, high E string or 1st string, and then ring finger on your 3rd fret B string. Okay, that's a D major. Take that finger off, that middle finger off, and I believe you have just a D natural. Meaning there's no defining nature third chord yet, or 3rd note. It doesn't have a major 3rd, and it doesn't have a minor 3rd. Okay, so there's kind of 3 chords right there. D minor, D minor. We can get into a lot of songs, and I'm going to have videos where we go over how to play songs and whatnot. But with just your D, you've already got a classic tune right there. E major, D major, A major. We'll get to that lick later. I'll just play it one more time real slow. Okay, bam, you learned a little lick for your friends. Look what I can do. Let's get on to the next chord. I want to go from the D, okay? We were going down the line of strings that we knew, right? Let's go over the strings that we learned yesterday. E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay? So we learned a D chord. Let's learn a G chord. And the thing I wanted to talk about was we're talking about open chords today. All right. Open chords. Oh, 1 second here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Got to share this to Facebook. I got to get some love here. That's where everybody loves me at. It's Facebook. We're going to be learning, and this is the process. You learn the anatomy of the guitar, you learn the names of the strings, and then we start learning the first chords that everybody learns. It's the open chords. Don't try to be different yet. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me, guys. Getting old. I don't move fast. So from the D chord that's rooted on the D string, the next string that we learned was the G string. So let's learn the open G chord. The G's going to ring out. The G string that we know, that we learned, is ringing out open. But there's kind of a different concept here. So let's take our hand off the guitar neck completely and let's build the shape of this chord. Let's take our 2-finger or middle finger and put it on your 3rd fret low E string. It's a really pretty chord. I love this chord. Okay. Take your index finger. It's going to want to fall naturally here on your 2nd fret A string. I just love that already. Hey, Christian, do me a favor. Can you turn, or you know what? Let me see. I just want to see if. Can you turn, or you know what? Let me see. I just want to see. Can you turn, or you know what? Let me see. Did the guitars coming through? Okay, cool. That's crazy what that can do to audio. Okay. That was weird. It's like it puts you in a weird place. So you got three guys viewing right now. Appreciate you guys stopping in. We're talking about open chords. We're going to the G chord, okay? So I told you, get your middle finger, put it on the 3rd fret E string, low E, or 6th string. Okay. Second fret A string. Take your pinky and put it down here. Okay. On the high E string. So looking at that at this angle, I've got a pretty arch here. Nothing's touching anything. We talked about learning how to arpeggiate our chords. This is a fun chord because you get to strum all 6 strings. Uh-oh. So that's a G chord. There's other ways to fret it, okay? You could do it like this. Now your hands might not be ready for that one yet. But basically your ring finger comes here. Your middle finger plays that 2nd fret A string. And your pinky comes down and plays the G note. Doesn't that sound great? That was one of my favorite chords to learn. Okay, now let's go down to the. Since it's right here, just pull these fingers down a set of strings. Okay. Take your pinky off and put your index finger on your B string 1st fret. So constructing the chord, we've got ring finger on the A string 3rd fret, middle finger on the 2nd fret D string, index finger on the 1st fret B string. Arpeggiate it, make sure everything's ringing out. All right, now this is a perfect part of the day 2 lesson I wanted to get into. And I was talking about how this hand is going to do some things. Okay, look here. I'm going to start on the A string, fretting that C chord. And they're all down picks. Also, how are you holding your pick? Are you using your thumb? And that's the case, your thumb will do the job. How are you holding your pick? Hold your hand out like this. Flip it over. And then place your pick in your hand where it's pointing straight up at the sky. That's how I like to do it. At least that's where it falls natural to me. Okay? And not only are we going to arpeggiate this chord ascending, we're going to descend as well. Hopefully you're doing that at home. Hopefully you're not just... We need to be a little more uniform, a little more minimal with our wrist and hand or elbow movement especially. A lot of people, when they start playing guitar, they think it's all about this. And let me tell you, it happens. You see a lot of the pros doing it, or just strummers, and they're adding percussion into their strum, and that's good. Do that, but also there's some parts that are going to get a little more technical. Okay, so the C chord, arpeggiate it. The G chord. Look what happened here. Fretting my C, right? Feels kind of natural. The fingers kind of just, look at that. They just kind of just fall into place. Look what happens when look what happens when I make my jump to the G. These fingers stay in a group and they go up a set of strings. Okay, look at that one more time. They stay in a group. Index comes off, pinky goes down. Now, if you're really a beginner, you're not switching chords that fast. You're probably like, your mind has to completely reconstruct the shape of the next chord. Now, this is a G chord, but it's actually more than just a G. Okay, but we'll get into that later. I taught you how to play the G like this. If you're noticing, I'm throwing my ring finger down now on that B string 3rd fret. Now let's think back to that D chord. So the idea of lesson 2 is, how to walk from chord to chord in the simplest fashion. Don't overcomplicate things. Okay? So we started with the E, went to the A, we're at the D now. So jumping from the D to the G, or even the D to the C, root notes in particular, the C root notes and the G root notes, is fairly simple here. We leave our ring finger down. We can take everything else off. The ring finger stays here, so it's kind of a stationary note in this chord progression. Jump to that natural C. So look, they're stacked up here. When you lead with your middle finger, that index finger follows naturally. Let your middle finger be the leader here of the jump. Because that's what we're doing. We're jumping from chord to chord. Oh, look what happened there. Middle and index finger work as a team. They work as a team again. The ring finger stays down. I can add the pinky. Whatever. So you can, you know, find a way to simplify these movements. Like I talked about yesterday with the E to the A minor, the E major shape is the exact same shape as the A minor. You just literally have to bring it down. The E major shape is the exact same shape as the A minor shape. I didn't say the A major. Okay. So find a way to simplify these things in your brain, however you got to do it. This is how I did it. I was like, oh, well, look. I literally just pull down and I'm there. Make it a major, add the pinky. Whatever. You gotta reconstruct your whole shape for the D. Uh-oh. Sounds like we already almost have another AC/DC song. D major, C, G, C. I can't tell you how many songs use those chords. I can't tell me how many songs you just learned right there. If you're able to jump between those chords like that with that strum pattern. And let's talk about the strum pattern. I'm not going crazy with my elbow over here. No, I'm not rocking out, digging into my guitar, although that will happen. We're on the D. Down, up, 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 down, up. So hopefully you're not just doing all down strums at this point. Down, 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 which is also a style of music. Anybody familiar with Metallica? Or where's it at? Look at all those down strums. Chug, 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 chug. So if you like that kind of heavier stuff, you will do that. It's about being versatile, okay? But right now, if you're really a beginner, you got to learn to alternate strum, down, up, down, up, down. Just like you eventually learn how to alternate pick on an individual string. So let's stop the chords. Let's work on this hand real quick. Let's focus on the low E string. Why not? Okay. Down, down, down. Keep this tempo with me. Down. Let's go up now. Up, down, up. Keep the same tempo. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So every note shares a strum. That's what alternate picking is. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Speed it up. Down, up, 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 down. Also note what I'm doing here. I'm also doing a thing called a palm mute, okay? I'm resting this part of my palm at the edge right here that I'm pointing at. I'm resting that almost directly over the bridge. And listen to the difference of when I touch the bridge and when I don't. I'm not touching it now. Rest it here. So we're kind of muting. We're not doing it over here. And that's going to help you to have those muted notes, especially when you're chugging or alternate picking. Okay? And that same concept goes with the chords. Let's go back to the D chord now. Index, G string, 2nd fret, middle finger, 2nd fret, E string, ring finger, 3rd fret, B string. And think of the same concept with alternate strumming. Now, remember, this is a D chord, so the root strum should start on the D string. So I'm going to alternate strum, but I'm also not just going to strum every single string. Okay, I'm going to strum in kind of a tactile way. Look at how a lot of it's really in the wrist. And I'm starting on that D string. So you need to be able to control your strums, okay? And the attack and where you're going to attack at. Okay? Also, learn to level out the attack. Meaning, there's a more of a, a stronger attack. Here's a light. So, and all that has to do with a little thing I like to call dynamics. It's not what I call it, but that's what it is. You got to learn about dynamic in music. We were talking about the other day how in Smells Like Teen Spirit, you got the chorus. And he's fighting, he's attacking. And we go into the verse. And he lightly plays this 1-2 note. While the bass is. And it gives him, his voice, the room to kind of mellow out too. So learning how to sit on a song, learning about dynamic, is very important with all of this. Right now, you're just struggling, probably trying to jump chords around. There's another song. Okay? I can think of a lot with these chords. Can't you see? Oh, can't you see what that woman, she's been doing to me? So it just goes down the line. I mean, those are some very popular chords. I know once I learned those, everything just lit up for me. A lot of things did. I guess you could say I had natural rhythm. So I was able to start strumming along. But let me tell you that although we do hear songs where this, very freestyle strumming, don't get locked in that world. Don't get locked in the chord changing world. Yeah, that's rhythm playing, but even rhythm playing gets more complex than that. Don't chicken out. Well, I don't want to be a lead player. I don't think I'm good enough. Stop. I'm telling you, sometimes rhythm players are more technically proficient than lead players. Alternate picking, knowing your string placement, it'll all come. Okay, so we learned 2 more chords. We learned the C chord. That's the proper fretting for it. I showed you the version that includes this 3rd fretted B string. It sounds, in fact, it's identical. Okay. Now the G chord, you can walk from here. That's the proper one. You can add this note, and it still sounds pretty. You can add that ring finger on that from that B chord, right? Learned a couple songs there. Now let's keep moving with that string concept. I threw the C in there. There's no C string. I get it. but it's so close to the G, I had to pop it on you. Now let's talk about the next string, the B string, okay, and the B chord. Now, we had this trend that was happening where with the E string, we were able to ring the open E string out as the root note. Same with the A string. A is the root note. D string, open D is the root note. But right when we go to the G, granted, the G string is ringing out openly here. The bassiest G that we're playing, lowest octave that we're playing, is fretted on the 3rd fret of the low E string. So now the concept has changed, right? For you, kind of, maybe. You're like, oh, well, this is a little more complex. And it's about to get even more complex. Okay. We're going to talk about a B chord. The B chord, right? Just like the B string. We're talking about the B chord. It's not going to be rooted with the open B string, right? And I've been showing you major and minor versions of chords. I didn't show you a major and minor of the G and the C. We'll talk about that later. But let's just start building, and this is where it changes, okay? This is where we get away from open chords, right? We're kind of graduating. Hopefully you're feeling comfortable with the open chords. If not, press pause, right, and get comfortable, or make sure and get comfortable later. But you could still learn the fingerings for the next chord that I'm fixing to show you, okay? The next 2 chords, because we're going to learn a major and a minor version of this, okay? So this is the B chord, okay? I'm going to build it naturally with no nature, with no defining 3rd note, major or minor, and then we'll talk about that afterwards, okay? We'll do a minor first, but let's just do the natural, okay? So index finger, 2nd fret, A string. That sounds really cool. It sounds like we're going to play that bum, 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 bum. We're not doing that, so don't get excited. B, okay, which is A string, 2nd fret with your index finger. Okay, we're going to learn kind of what a bar chord is, okay? So then you got your 4th fret D string. Look at that. That's the first time we've gone to the 4th fret. Okay. Throw me down. I think it's actually in that key now that I'm hearing it. Throw down your pinky on the G string 4th fret. So you're playing a B now. It has no nature. You're just strumming those 3 strings, the A string, the D string, and the G string. Let's add the minor 3rd. Is your hand hurting yet? Mine is, especially because I'm holding the guitar up vertically so you can see it in the camera. But here it is. Index, 1st fret. Excuse me, index, 1st finger on the 2nd fret, A string. 3rd finger, ring finger on your 4th fret, D string. 4th finger, pinky finger on your 4th fret, G string. Go ahead and throw that middle down on that 3rd fret, B string. Is your forearm burning yet? Is your hand hurt yet? Take it off. Do a breather. Come back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you have a B minor. Now, if your index finger is still doing this arch thing, that's cool, but we're talking about a bar chord. So try this posture where you let it fall flat on the strings, and without the bar, that open E string rings out. With the bar, it plays an F sharp note. We'll get into that later. But this is the fretting. fingering for a B minor bar chord rooted on the A string. Okay. How do we make it a major? Take that minor third off and, okay. This fretting is going to kill you because it killed me. Because when it comes to certain chords, we're going to talk about a thing called finger separation. Okay. And this is going to require a good amount of finger separation to fret this chord properly. And I'll show you an improper way to fret it that I used from the very beginning just so I could groove along. Okay. But I'll talk about why you might need this proper fretting. In fact, you will if you want to play songs properly. So the proper way, check this out. Remember that A chord? That A major? Well, this nut is kind of acting as an index finger for an A major. We'll go up a half step. We've got A sharp major or B flat major. Talk about the notes later. Take it up another half step, the same shape. And boom, you've got your that was B flat. This is B. You've got your B major now. If I bar it, so it's supposed to be properly barred, okay? So that's this chord. What's challenging is this little gap right here. It burns for a lot of people. And what makes this proper is for certain songs, they add melodies over the chord by trilling a finger on and off. Okay? And I'll show you a quick example of that. Right there. Now here's the improper way to play the chord. I use this for a long time. Okay, it's a kind of a bar concept here, bar chord concept. I would bar these strings, and I'd use my ring finger or my pinky. To be honest, I'd use my pinky a lot. But I'd use my pinky or my ring finger to kind of bar the rest of the strings from the D down on the 4th fret. And it adds this note, which actually changes the quality of the chord. So already that's not proper. And also, when you're doing that, you can't really just trill one string on and off. Hopefully you're doing that stuff at home too. Hopefully when you learn a chord, like even that E chord, hopefully you tried bringing it down. Experiment. That was one of the first things I ever did, and I was like, yeah, that sounds kind of cool. It sounds real. Right? I just took that E chord, slid it up a half step, went to the next fret marker, a whole step, back to that fret marker because it was pretty looking. Really, that's where my mind was at. It was just like, okay. And that's kind of the concept with bar chords. We're taking a shape that we knew, that A major, even that A minor, and our finger is just acting as the nut in comparison to those open chords. So hopefully you're taking those notes and dragging them down, or those shapes, sorry, and dragging them down, those chord shapes. So we're in the B minor, index 2 on the A string, ring finger 4 on the D string, pinky 4 on the G string, middle finger 3 on the B string, bar that index finger down, so that, and really all that matters that's being barred down right now is this, and then the high E, because these fingers are doing the job of playing the notes in between. Okay, so we got the B minor there, or excuse me, yeah, the B minor, the B major. Okay, And I feel like that right there is just a good amount of open chords for you to play with for the beginning. So get familiar with jumping from chord to chord. That one's going to kill you. Because going from the major version of the D to the minor version of the D is not just putting a finger down or on or off. Look at it on the E. E minor, go down a finger, E major. The D major to the D minor is a whole position change almost. Okay? What happens is your middle finger does the job that your index was doing. Your ring finger stays where it's at, but it has to jump out of the way, and your index finger goes and does this job. First fret, first string, okay? Go to the G, the one that I showed you, or the proper version of the G. I like that one too, because it kind of naturally sets you up for the proper C chord. Start doing stuff like that. Take a finger on and off as you strum. Take that middle finger of that C chord on and off and start creating melodies over the chord. Okay, so we learned the C, we learned the B minor, bar chord. We're breaking out now. Okay, we're getting away from the beginner chords, the open chords, and we're learning a bar chord, okay, which is really just taking a shape that we already learned, A minor, and taking it up a whole step. Half steps means 1 fret, whole step means 2 frets, okay? Whole and a half means 3 frets, okay, away from the fret that you're on. So, no songs yet, no exact how to play songs. I've kind of showed you how some songs work out. But these chords, think you've lost your love, E minor. I saw her, yes, there's that B minor. Saw her yesterday, there's that D major. It's you, there's the G, E minor. She told me what to say. She loves you, no, that can't be bad. She loves you. So there's a C minor bar chord. You know you should be glad. Ooh. Okay. So there's a lot of songs that involve those chords. Just before we get into knowing those songs and actually quickly being able to watch a how-to play along video or to talk to anybody that knows chords, you got to know them too, right? So you can say, hey, you're going to play a B here for a measure and then, you know, a B minor here and then a C or a D, whatever. You got to know that. You got to be able to meet them halfway. The teacher, right? So it starts with the very basics that aren't that fun. It's kind of rudimentary and it's a very gradual process, but stick with it, guys. I promise if you at least play with me every day or watch this video every day and try to play what I'm playing, you're going to start having the materials and the tools to learn on your own. And that's what this is all about, right? Becoming your own musician, becoming your own guitarist. Learning how to improvise, learning how to be a capable bandmate. Don't let anybody stump you. Don't let a different chord progression stump you, okay? For those advanced players out there. I will be doing some advanced videos soon. So be prepared for that. Beginners, if you're not there yet, it's not going to kill you to watch along. There's some things, if you're like me, you can watch and learn. Sometimes before I started really understanding what I was doing, it was all copycatting. I was just watching shapes and I didn't know what I was playing. I didn't know the theory behind it. And let me tell you, names of notes and stuff, that's not even really theory. Okay, that's just like almost common knowledge. Okay. I saw something today and it was like, well, what's the difference between a note and a pitch? Well, notes are measured and they have names. Pitches don't. It's just a higher pitch or a lower pitch. Okay, and there's another little fact. But we'll leave you with that, guys. Don't forget, I do in-person lessons and I also do online Zoom lessons. So if you want something a little more impersonal, or something a little more personal, don't be afraid to contact me here on my email, strawhattommy@icloud.com, my phone number, 832-310-7302. I don't care. Facebook, Twitter, Tommy Ross Music, Instagram, Tommy Ross Music. You can contact me through all of that stuff if you want to get some more info. I'm currently in the process of writing a beginner book, an ebook that I can eventually send to you guys for note reference. I hope you are taking notes every day, you know, stuff like that. Get with me and we'll talk. We'll work something out. All right. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you know whenever I go live. Bingo.